That, okay. Okay, go ahead and call to order, Mr. Artis.
Okay, today I call to order this school board meeting for February 10th. Roll call, please.
Mr. Artis,
Here.
Mrs. Booms, Mrs. Booms.
Yeah, Oni, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Mrs. Halsall. Here. Mr. Kunkel,
Here.
Mr. McGinnis, Mr. Rainier,
Here.
Mr. Redmond. And Ona, I got you.
Ona,
Okay.
just wait your hand showing that you hear us. Okay, thank you, Ona.
All right, now we approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with the exception of committee reports.
Support.
Here.
Um,
Got it.
All in favor, say yes.
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 All
Yeah.
opposed, say no. Okay, any discussion? Then we're approving the agenda without the committee reports. Now we move on to the consent agenda. We're going to approve minutes of the board workshop, January 6th, approve minutes of the regular meeting, January 13th, communications, activity report, approval of bills, bills paid, general fund, bills paid, food service, 2016 debt service fund, legacy gift fund, 2016 construction project fund, bills paid, sinking fund, bills paid, student activities. The total amount is $765,720.23. Make a motion for the consent agenda.
So move.
Support.
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. Any discussion? Okay, the consent agenda has been approved. We can pay those bills. This is a time for any comments from the public. Do we have any, Trent? Okay, we have no comments from the public. We will have another time to ask for that later on. Administrative reports, Kim.
All right, so I have just a few updates for you. Today was count day here in the district and across the state of Michigan. We were at 1156 today, which is, we were actually up from our fall count, which was approximately 1148. So that is good. As you know, that our count is as part of our funding here in the district. I will tell you that we are probably about 50 kids short from last year because we had over 1,200 last year. But with what we're dealing with the pandemic, I'm not surprised. I'm actually, this is not really bad as at 1156 for where we are right now. Additional information for you. We finally got approval to get our health and wellness center completed. So we had the fire marshal come in today, building inspector, we've had electrical, and all of those things are now approved. As you know, during the pandemic, we were not able to get our permits done because we were supposed to open our health and wellness center in January. And we are finally able to move forward. And so they're going to start finishing the drywall here next week. So we're really excited. We already have our nurse practitioner hired. I don't have it hired, but the health department has her hired. And we also have our counselor hired. So we're very excited. This is going to move quick now. Hopefully sometime in March, then we'll be able to get this fully operational, which is, as you know, has been on our to-do list and part of our plan for the past 10 years is to get a health and wellness center here in the district. So very excited about that. I also, just a report for you on the community center. I sent everybody earlier this week a phased reopening plan for the community center. As you know, we are in phase 1/phase 2 with having put a number of procedures in place and have the walking track open currently. Right now, we have not moved on to phase 3 as of yet. We are still working to ensure the health and safety of our community members and our students as well. And so working through these phases to make sure that we have things in place prior to moving forward on that. Are there any questions on any of those topics?
Kim, this is Craig. I have a comment.
Yes.
My comment is on the wellness center, not the wellness center, but our exercise facility. I think it's good that we put a phased process in place so we're ready to go when we think we can open up the weight room. I know we got a lot of things going on right now, and I don't think it's in our best foot forward to open it up this early. I think we need to put a plan in place, understand what we're doing, and then be ready when we think it's a good time to open it up. We haven't had a lot of community requests for this at this time, so I think we can make sure we have all our I's dotted and T's crossed before we bite that off. That's my opinion on this. Anybody
Okay.
else?
I totally agree with you. I've thought about this for a week now, and I don't think we're ready. The kids have only been in school less than a month. They need to have time to spend in there, and not have to worry about getting COVID from the middle class people, or not the middle class, the middle-aged people. Because it's not the old people that's gonna give them the COVID. And then I had a senior citizen call. She was on last week listening to the workshop, and she said she don't think we should open up the weight center either. It's too much. Then I talked to 2 more people, and they said, no, absolutely not. The kids have to get back to some kind of normal life in the, school. My
Good point.
opinion.
Good point, Ona. Focusing on the kids, make sure they
Right.
get back into a routine,
Mhm.
and looking out for their safety. And we, as the administration, can handle all the extra work that needs to be done. And in that process, we got to look at labor and costs and all of that when we put this into place. So I know Kim is
Mhm.
working on that, and I think we need to take a little time to do that.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else? That's all I had, Kim, for that.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything more then to add to my administrative report. Well, I will mention that we did, and we're going to talk about this in a few minutes when we get to the action items, but we did have an oversight committee earlier this week where we met with Tony Fox and 3 of the oversight committee members, Craig, Brian, and Tom Redmond, to go over the timber bids and discuss those. And I know that Tony will be happy to answer any questions for the board when we get to that action item. And then we also talked about the roof. So that was a meeting that we held outside of the workshop and this board meeting.
Okay. So do we want Tim to give a report, or do we want him to go back to the basketball game?
I think he's probably good. We're just going to let him be at the basketball game. He's just keeping an eye on things, helping out at Roscommon. Unless Dr. Hanel, you have something to add. Is the score? What's the score?
Yeah, we're currently up 1-2. We're up 10-1 here with minute 48 left in the first quarter. Girls are playing hard, so appreciate it. Thanks for your support, and I don't have anything to add.
Okay, go back to the game, Tim. Thanks. All right, moving on. We're going down to the action items. Number 1, first COVID extended learning plan goal reporting.
The board has received copies of the COVID extended learning plan goal reporting. The recommended action is that the board approve the COVID extended learning plan goal reporting for the 2021 school year. I will also add that there's 3 of these, one that we did in September, one we're required to do in February, and that we do at the end of the school year.
Okay, the recommended action?
The recommended action is that the board approve the COVID extended learning plan goal reporting for the 2021 school year.
Do I have a motion?
Approved.
Support.
All in favor, say yes.
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 All opposed, say no. Any discussion? Okay, the resolution is passed. Moving on to the second one, sinking fund project pay applications.
The board has received applications for payment on the sinking fund project. The recommended action is that the board approve the following payments from the sinking fund. We have at the high school, $585 from American Waste, Hausler Lumber, $137.50, and Cornerstone Architects for $400 for the Wellness Center. I will tell you that those $585 and the $400, that's all with the Health and Wellness Center.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So move.
Support.
Second, support. Tamara, thank you. Those in favor say yes.
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 Those opposed say no. Okay, any discussion? Resolution passes. Number 3, timber bids.
The board has authorized the superintendent to seek timber bids for the property located in Norwich Township. The recommended action is that the board authorize the superintendent to contract on behalf of the district with Buer Forest Management of Lake City to remove timber on the Norwich Township property in the amount of $65,620.01.
Have a motion?
I ask a question.
Yes.
Okay,
Ma'am.
I heard that there was another bid, and I know it was the logging company that Matt Musselman runs. I was just curious because he's an alum and his wife's an alum. Was it close to the other bid? Was it? I guess I'd just like to ask that, like, because he is, a Lake City alum, and so is his wife. Did we give them an opportunity, or what did it come in at? Because I wasn't privy to that. I only saw the one bid.
Okay, Kim, do you want me to answer that, or do you want to, or Tony?
Go ahead, Craig.
Okay, here's the discussion on that, Tamara.
Okay.
We had the 2 bids, and we seriously looked at Legendary, which is the Musselmans,
Yeah. Okay.
and they were in contention. Where we felt short with them is 2 reasons. One, the other we wanted to keep it local.
Right.
The other company was paying us a little bit more money than they were. So that was a factor.
Okay.
And then the other company also had certification to do HRD. HRD is a process to, and Tony could talk to this a little better than I, but it's to stop a disease in the ground. Okay, so it doesn't contaminate the new growth that we put in there after we cut this down. Musselmans were not certified to do the HRD.
Oh.
The other company was, and we wanted to keep it local. The other company was subcontracting with another local supplier. Okay, so we kept it.
They're not, but they're local. Legendary Forestry is local.
Yes, and Buer was local, but they're not. We don't look at them as like Musselman or Bisbal or anybody like that. But they got the bid because they're outsourcing it to a third party, and that third party has the certification to do the HRD, and we made more money off the deal. And the third party is a local local company.
They're both local companies.
Yes.
They both were close in numbers. I know it was close, but one can do this thing you're talking, the safety thing, and the other cannot.
Correct. And can I ask Tony to give us a little more clarification on the HRD, please, Tony? Are you willing to do that?
Sure. Yeah. So HRD is it's heteropysidian root disease, and it's something that affects all native pines, and the big issue with it is, I guess my goal out there for that property is, I actually talked with Mr. Booms, whose classmates planted those trees, decades ago. And I guess my thought would be maybe in a few years we could get our kids to do that too. But the problem comes with the HRD where it persists in the soil. So if the disease comes in there, anything we plant's going to die. And so that was a big determining factor. I probably would have even argued if another contractor had bid a little higher. I probably would have argued on the side of a contractor who could spray for HRD. It's something that once it's there, and we wouldn't have been able to replant to red pine or anything we wanted to in the future. So that's a big determining factor. And then the third factor is too, that Beaver Lumber is their intents to move in as soon as they're awarded, where Legendary was a year out, and I know the budget concerns that was part of it too.
Okay.
So, and I guess one more factor on that, if anyone asks, there is a known HRD site within 10 miles of that, of our property, the school property. So the federal foresters say 25 miles is a safe buffer. The DNR says 5. So we're probably safe, but the one thing is it's a known site within 10 miles. There could be one right next door. There were a few trees out there that were dead for unknown reasons when I was in there. No way of knowing if it's HRD or not. But I think in this instance where we want to replant and have it be a legacy for our kids, I think the safe bet was to go with someone who could spray. And the contractor that Beaver is going to put in there is one of our bigger local contractors, and they are authorized to spray. They have a certified pesticide applicator license, and they will spray it. So we'll be, we're ensuring the best we can that we're going to be safe in the woods.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. I left out one important thing. We would have to wait a year to get our money, or we get it right now. And because of COVID, we're kind of needing the money. So I appreciate Tony's help on the explanation. Hopefully that passed your question or answered your question, Tamara. Okay, moving on to the next resolution.
Oh, I think we got to vote on it.
Yeah.
We gotta
We
vote
gotta
on
do a
it.
motion.
You're right. Need a motion. I'm sorry. Thank you.
So move.
Support.
All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
All those opposed say no. Any more questions? Resolution passes. Moving on to resolution 4, roof bids.
The board has authorized the superintendent to seek bids for re-roofing at the middle and high school. The recommended action is that the board authorize the superintendent to contract on behalf of the district with Bloxham Roofing and Siding of Traverse City to re-roof the middle school and high school in the amount of $349,960. Now, I'm going to give just a little more explanation of that. We looked at a bid of part of the roof, like we split it up into 3 sections. We had a bid A where we were looking at just the middle school wing and over by the library section that we talked about before. Then we looked at another section that was going to be the gym, the middle school, the old high school gym, the middle school gym, and the auditorium. And then we looked then we had a combined bid of C, the whole thing. So that's what the $349,000 is. I didn't give you each separate amount, but that would be the total package to do that roof. We had Bloxham here today again with a leak in that hallway by the middle school gym and the library. So we know we got a big problem. They were down here today patching holes for us again. So the discussion will be if we decide to do the worst part or do the whole thing or however we want to do it. But tonight we're just looking at packaging the whole thing. This is a lesser price by doing the whole package by about $5,000-$6,000 than doing it, separately. So it would be a whole package, and then we could schedule like part A, part B, however we decided we wanted to do that. Does anybody have questions on that?
Okay, then we'll need a motion to make the recommendation.
So moved.
We need a second.
A second.
Okay. All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Those opposed, please say no. Any questions? Resolution passes. Moving to number 5, policy recommendations.
The board has had both the first and second readings of the recommended board policies. The recommended action is that the board approve the following policies as presented: cost principles, procurement, emergency removal, suspension, and expulsion of students, due process rights, and facility security. I will also remind you that these are all revised. We talked about this last month. We just forgot to approve it.
Okay. Need a motion?
So move.
Support.
Second. Support. Thank you. Those in favor say yes.
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 Those opposed say no. Any questions or discussion? Resolution passes. Number 6, COVID extended learning plan.
The board has received copies of the COVID extended learning plan for the 2021 school year. This is a required reconfirmation of this plan that will be presented to the board every 30 days for approval. The board will then take any public comments on the instruction and review weekly two-way interaction rates. Prior to the approval, the superintendent will review how the instruction is delivered. So just as a review, we continue to have in-person instruction and virtual instruction for our students. We have averaged over the past 4 weeks, 83% for two-way instruction, that's K-12, 81%, 85%, and 81%. I will tell you that our highest percentage rates, because we average them all together, is in the elementary, where we continually average two-way communication with our elementary students. We're at least 95%. In the high school, we're averaging over 80% every time. I would say our lowest rate of the second contact, it seems to always be in middle school, where we're averaging about 70 to 75%. So just as you know, we work very diligently to make sure we're making contact with these students.
Okay, we need a motion.
We're going to ask for comments first.
Did I not get there? Sorry. Any comments on this?
From the public.
Oh, then, I'm sorry. Didn't we need a motion or a pass for this resolution?
No, we have to open up for comments first before the recommended action.
Okay, then we'll open up for comments from the public at this time. We have no comments from the public. So now I need a motion to pass this resolution of COVID extended learning plan.
Motion.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian, for the support. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, please say no. Okay, other items. Next month, March 3rd, we're going to have a board workshop in lieu of committee meetings because of virtual due to COVID restrictions. And that's at 6:30. And then our regular board meeting next month is Wednesday, March 10th at 7 p.m. And that will be virtual due to COVID restrictions too. Any questions or comments on that? Then we as a board needs to go into closed sessions to discuss superintendent mid-year evaluation.
Hey, I want to tell you something else. I had a phone call today from Christine Keller, and she wanted me to tell the board this stuff. Kim is wonderful. The COVID action she took was great. Kim is always outside with the kids no matter what the weather is. And a thank you to the school board for everything you do.
All right, thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
nice to hear.
Yes, it is.
It's nice to hear and appreciate what you're doing, Kim, along with
Yes.
all the other people in
It's
the
awesome.
district staff. So,
Thank you. Okay, so the recommended action is that the board go into closed session for the purpose of discussing the superintendent's mid-year evaluation, material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state and federal statute.
So
Do I need a
moved.
motion?
Support.
Okay, Brian made the motion, Tamara supported. We need a roll call.
Mr. Artis,
Yes?
Mrs. Booms,
Yes.
Mrs. Halsall,
Yes.
Mr. Kunkel,
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis, Mr. Rainier,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond.
Okay, Thank you, Trent. We are going to close out this meeting. I think we've had comments from the public. I lost my agenda. Sorry.
Okay, so the recommended action is that the board exit the closed session and resume the regular meeting. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Kim.
And then we need a roll call. Mrs. Ising, can you do a roll call?
Mr. Erdis,
Yes.
Mrs. Booms,
Yes,
Ms. Elso,
Yes.
Mr. Kunkel,
Yes.
Mr. McGinnis, Mr. Rainier,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond.
Okay, so we resumed the regular board meeting and we were going to close this out at 7:32 p.m. Meeting adjourned.
Bye,
Hey, guys.
everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.